Morning, all. All right, we got a lot of games tonight. So, what I'm planning to do is I'm picking three games I'm going to watch. I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh, Boston, that starts at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. Edmonton, Winnipeg, that starts at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then St. Louis and Vegas as being the three teams that I follow. I take notes on. The rest I'll keep track of scores, what's going on. But 13 games is it's 13 games. And then on Thursday, I would pick three different games to do that with as well because we got 14 games on Thursday. So that being said, there are five games starting at the same time: 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. Starting with Pittsburgh, who are 4-2. Boston's 3-1-1. I picked a leading scorer from each team, as well as somebody off to a slow start. Crosby's the leading scorer for Pittsburgh with 3 goals and 4 assists. Not too shabby for a league that keeps getting younger. Apparently, so does Crosby. John Marino with no points so far this year. He's had a slow start. I do think that'll turn around. On the Boston front, Marchand is their leading scorer. 3 goals and 4 assists for him. Anders Bjork, 0 points. I honestly, we all keep waiting to see more from Bjork, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. On the next game, we've got the New York Rangers and Buffalo Sabres. The Rangers are 1-3-1. Buffalo's 2-3-1. And so both teams are looking to turn their fortunes around. Panarin's the leading scorer for the Rangers, to the surprise of no one, with 2 goals and 4 assists. Tony DeAngelo hasn't got any points yet. Always a topic of conversation. And we'll see if he starts getting on the board tonight. Eichel, 7 assists, is the leading scorer for Buffalo. 7 assists in 6 games. Yeah, I'd like it if he had a goal or two as well. They'll come. Skinner, 1 assist. And I know there's Buffalo fans that are mad about him not getting enough ice time. I don't think he's done enough to warrant more ice time either. So, yeah, the contract just doesn't look better when that's happening. Also at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, we got Philadelphia in against New Jersey. Philadelphia's 3-2-1. New Jersey's 3-1-1. And these are teams that it feels like are going in opposite directions. New Jersey potentially on their way up. For the Flyers, Kevin Hayes, 3 goals and 5 assists, is their leading scorer. Farabee with a goal and 3 assists. You wouldn't look at that and say, well, he's not off to a slow start, is he? And he wouldn't be, other than the fact those 4 points were in game one. And since game one, he's dropped down to, I think he was on the fourth line in the last game. New Jersey, Jack Hughes, 3 goals and 4 assists to be their leading scorer. Johnson, who came over from Toronto, has not recorded a point yet as a New Jersey Devil. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. The New York Islanders, 3-2, and against the 3-0-3 Washington Capitals, who will again be without Ovechkin and the rest of that crew. Barzal's the leading scorer for the Islanders with 2 goals and 2 assists. Ryan Pulock stands out as one that's only got 1 assist so far, and yet he's very prominent on that blue line. I would think the points are going to start coming. Washington, Backstrom, 4 goals and 3 assists for him. He's their leading scorer. Panik with 1 assist. He's been prominent, just hasn't been on the score sheet very much. That'll change sooner or later. But we'll see. And that should be a really fun game. Those two teams know each other very, very well. And of course, the coach of the Islanders was at one point the coach of the Capitals, for those who don't know. 7 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock, or 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, sorry. The Florida Panthers are finally back on the ice again. And they're in against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Florida's 2-0. Columbus is 2-2-2. Hornquist is the leading scorer for Florida with 3 goals and 1 assist. Connolly, and again, it's only 2 games, but Connolly hasn't gone on the board yet. The leading scorer for Columbus, Texier, 3 goals and 2 assists for him. Very good start to the season. And Werenski, who did get a goal in the last game, but that's still his only point to this stage of the season. Starting at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, the 2-3-1 Chicago Blackhawks in against the 2-3 Nashville Predators. Nashville coming off of back-to-back losses against Dallas and really, really poor penalty killing, and now they're against a team that also has a pretty good power play in Chicago, so we'll track that. Kane, the leading scorer for Chicago, no surprise, 3 goals, 4 assists. Carpenter, yet to record a point for Chicago. He did have an opportunity, had an empty net that he missed the other night, so yeah, we'll see if he can get that going. Arvidsson's the leading scorer for Nashville, 1 goal, 4 assists. Nice to see him back on the board and looking dangerous again. And Yossi stands out as a guy with 1 assist for the Nashville Predators. Also at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, the Oilers, who are now 3-4, in against Winnipeg, who are 4-2. And the game the other night was fantastic, which is why, I'm choosing these games based on, you got Crosby here against the Bruins. That's always fun. The Oilers and the Jets, tons of shots all over the place. This is going to be a fun one to watch. So Edmonton looking to even their record now. 4 goals and 6 assists for McDavid. He has 10 points in 7 games. And there are still those who want to talk about how he's off to kind of a slow start. Okie dokie. Larson with 1 goal. He had a goal, I think that was in game 1, right, against Vancouver, and I don't know, he hasn't got anything since. On the Winnipeg front, Kyle Connor's the leading scorer with 4 goals and 5 helpers. Harkins with no points thus far this season. That will change. At 8 p.m. Eastern, we have LA in against Minnesota. LA, these guys right here, 2-2. So again, if you're looking at all this and going, I don't know what to watch the LA-Minnesota game. That should be fun. Minnesota's 4-2. The leading scorer for the Kings, Kopitar. The veterans for the Kings greatly helped, it would appear, at least early in the season, by all that time off. 1 goal, 9 assists for Kopitar. Amadio stands out with 0 points thus far for LA. I like Amadio. Kaprizov for Minnesota's their leading scorer with 1 goal and 5 assists. Bonino, 1 goal so far this season for the Minnesota Wild. He'll start putting up points here and there. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, the 2-4 Detroit Red Wings, who started to look like the old Red Wings, not the 2002 Red Wings, but more the 2020 Red Wings in recent games. They're in against Dallas, who looked unstoppable against Nashville as long as it was 5-on-4. For Detroit, their leading scorer is Larkin with 3 goals and 3 assists. Nemesnikov has yet to record a point for the Detroit Red Wings. Pavelski leads the way for the 2-0 Dallas Stars with 3 goals and 4 assists. Another veteran, helped by the time off, I guess, even though in his case, they went all the way to the Stanley Cup final. He hasn't had the kind of time off that Kopitar did, but hey, he's off to a great start. And Faksa, no points yet for Dallas. Hard to find guys that don't have points that should, because they've barely played, right? 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Toronto and Calgary. Toronto's 5-2. Calgary's 2-1-1. Marner leads the Leafs with 4 goals and 6 assists. Mikheyev stands out as a guy with 1 assist so far this season. They were counting on a little bit more scoring from him than that. On the Calgary side, Lindholm, Gaudreau, Monahan all have 2 goals and 3 assists. They all lead Calgary in scoring. This is good news. Bennett stands out, 0 points. And there you go. Again, Sam Bennett shows signs, and I've seen it even during these games where he hasn't had a point yet. There's enough there that if you could, say, work out a Virtanen for Bennett deal, right? Maybe. Something along those lines. I know. Both fan bases are probably going, no, which means it's probably not a bad idea. Now, at 9 p.m. Eastern as well, 6 p.m. Pacific, there are no games past 9 p.m. Eastern. Colorado's at home to San Jose. Both teams are 3-3. A bit of a surprise in the positive for San Jose, considering some of their games haven't been that great. And for Colorado, a bit of a surprise in the negative that they're stuck at 500. Hurdle leads San Jose with 3 goals, 4 assists. Leonard off to a start of 2 assists. That's going to get better. He's getting a lot of ice time. His numbers are going to come up. Colorado, McKinnon, 2 goals and 6 assists for him to lead Colorado, which surprises no one. And JT Compher, just the 1 assist so far this year. I would think they're expecting a little bit more. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Anaheim in against Arizona. This should also be an entertaining game because these are 2 teams that are, well, Arizona's trying to get back to 500, make it 3-3-1, and Anaheim could be over 500 by the end of the night at 3-2-2. Rowney is the leading scorer for Anaheim with 4 assists. Shows you how amazing their attack has been. Sam Steele with 2 assists. We want more out of Steele, don't we? On the Arizona side, Garland leads them in scoring with 2 goals, 4 assists. For kind of a slow start, I went with Keller, who's also got 2 goals. Only the 1 assist, 3 points so far. Keller kind of leaves you wanting more if you have him on your fantasy team, right? And then finally, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, the St. Louis Blues in against Vegas. This should be a great one. St. Louis 3-2-1, Vegas 5-1. St. Louis, their leading scorer is Kyrou, who's been awesome to start the season. 2 goals, 4 assists. Hoffman, kind of off to a slow start In the 5 games he's played so far, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Getting to know his new line mates and teammates. In Vegas, Stone, 2 goals and 6 assists for him. And Carrier is one of the few I could pick that I'm like, well, he doesn't have a point yet. So I'll throw Carrier's name on the board. Maybe he gets a point or two tonight. I don't know, maybe. But anyways, it's going to be a really busy night for me. I'm looking forward to it. So the review will probably end up being a little bit later than normal because it's 13 games. And even though they'll be over by 8:30, it's 13 games. So my intention is to watch Pittsburgh, Boston, Edmonton, and Winnipeg, St. Louis, and Vegas, and the rest of it I'll just keep track of what's going on. So, all right. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.